And I'll call this meeting of the Urbana Public Television Commission to order at 12:07. Maybe 8. Would the clerk call the roll?
Yes. Commissioner Mancuso?
Here.
Commissioner Wadsworth?
Present.
Commissioner Folk?
Present.
Commissioner Inskeep?
Here.
Commissioner Fuller?
Present.
Commissioner Cinder called me 10 minutes ago and said that something had come up. He will not be here. And Commissioner Polk emailed me this morning that there is a work conflict. She was going to try to get here, but she wasn't sanguine about making it. So we do have a quorum.
All right. Next item is modifications to and approval of the agenda. Does anyone have any modifications they'd like to suggest?
Yes, under
Chris?
new business.
Your, yeah.
Thanks, Peter. Under new business, page 3, third paragraph, third line, just a matter of grammatical correction. The word "of" is capitalized.
I think that's the next item of business, the approval of the minutes.
Okay.
Hearing no modifications to the agenda, do I have a motion to approve it?
So moved.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the agenda is approved, and moving on to approval of the minutes. Chris, page 3, you said?
Yes, page 3. Page 3, third paragraph, third line.
Yeah. Thank you. I will correct that.
There was, it may be nitpicking, but there was a place where we said effect instead of affect.
Where's that?
I'm trying to find it, and I can't find it. I found it on the electronic copy. Does anybody remember where you were saying we're not sure how this would affect the, continuance, or it probably is fine. I mean, it's probably more affect or impact, but oh, and the date, the approval of the minutes up on 4. I think you mean 2016, not 2015, on the date, December 11th? Or am I wrong?
No, I mean 2015. That was
Oh, it was 2015
that was the
from
last
way
official
back?
meeting. Yeah.
Okay. All right, I guess that was
I
that
tried to
then.
make sure I got all the dates correct.
Yeah,
this
all
time.
right. Okay, that's it. I'm fine otherwise.
Is the use of effect on page 3 the one to which you refer? At the
where-
end of the second paragraph?
Second paragraph.
There's no way to predict what effect a membership fee would
I
have?
guess that would be it, yeah.
That's the correct effect there.
Which one is it?
It's effect as a noun in that particular case.
It's the second paragraph?
The end of the second paragraph on page 3.
All right.
Do you want to move to change that to, say, impact?
No, I'm fine if you're happy with it.
I'm happy with it. I like your grammatical distinctions, so I appreciate them.
All right. Do I hear a motion to approve them as with change suggested by Mr. Fuller?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Okay. The minutes from March 10th, 2017 are approved, and on to correspondence.
There was no correspondence to the commission this quarter.
Great. And then moving on to the staff report. We have a nice glossy thing here. Is that part of the staff report?
No, that's part of new business.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yes, it's been an extremely busy quarter. I think I'm going to start off with Urbana High School senior Joey Wright. He placed third in the IHSA State Journalism Competition for broadcast journalism. Joey is our announcer on Urbana High School sports, and he also, his new summer show started this week. It's on at 10:30 Wednesday nights with a couple of rebroadcasts. And I fully expect to see Joey on national sports media within 10 years. absolutely. Another one of our shining lights, volunteer Jacob Bernard is now producing the video broadcast of WEF sessions. He's taking over from Joseph Cash. He also produced a feature on the shortest St. Patrick's Day in the world, shortest St. Patrick's Day parade in the world that was held on the one block of Urbana. He's been doing some interstitials involving local trains, freight trains coming through. He recorded an hour-long hip-hop performance in coordination with the city's Open Scene project at the IMC. And he recorded one of the Urbana Celebrates the Boneyard events performance by the Bodacious String Band. So he's been very busy as well. Volunteer Brian Jackson produced 2 episodes of In Focus, one interviewing former Mayor Laurel Pressing, and one interviewing Superintendent Don Owen from USD. Volunteer Carletta Donaldson continues to record and produce the Friday forums at the University YMCA. Volunteer Paul Muth recorded the CU Climate March for broadcast. UPTV also ran extended coverage of the National March for Science and the National People's Climate March. We devoted 5 hours to each of those, courtesy of Democracy Now! We are once again airing the Busey Bank Economics Seminar for 2017. We're running videos provided to us by the Champaign County EDC from their Innovation Celebration and a short series they have called CU Love. We are airing some new PSAs from the Urbana Park District as well. We've added the MTD Board of Directors meetings to our schedule, and that's courtesy of CGTV over in Champaign. Jason is now producing the Regional Planning Commission meetings, so we're able to broadcast those on a more timely basis than we had in the past. Jason went on a production tear this quarter. He produced a program on the fire department pinning ceremony, a mayoral candidates forum, a feature about the Urbana Park District's new nature playscape, a feature on the food truck rally, one on the City of Urbana's celebration of Arbor Day, an Artist of the Corridor interview, the senior videos from this year's CU One-to-One mentoring program, a feature story on the rain barrel and compost bin sale hosted by the city, spots for the Champaign County Freedom Celebration, feature story on the Solar Urbana Champaign 2.0 program, and features on Fire Department personnel Rhonda Foster and Phil Edwards. And this is in addition to the regular Art Now, All About You, and Market Menu staff productions. The UHS sports programs are on summer break right now. They will be resuming in August. In the meantime, we are running the Urbana Middle School promotion and the Urbana High School and Adult Ed graduation ceremonies. I was able to provide footage of the late Michael Pollock, the former chair of the Plan Commission for many years in Urbana, to Channel 3, and that was from the UPTV City Meeting Archives. Short thing on the budget, the fiscal year 2018 budget is currently before the council. The new budget will go into effect July 1st. The city is in pretty dire straits. They will be offering a voluntary separation incentive to try to reduce some staffing costs. Our part of the schedule of fees will remain the same as last year, which is $100 for out-of-state membership, $12 for a DVD copy of a program, and $50 an hour for paid production work. Jason and I will both be able to attend the national conference of the Alliance for Community Media this year. It's going to be in Minnesota. The focus of that conference will be largely on fundraising. And in addition, I was part of an April 26th webinar on starting a fundraising program at community media, and I'll mention a little bit more about that later. Archiving. We will continue to archive city council and board and commission meetings on our web server. This will now be our primary archive, so we will not be making data DVDs of these anymore in addition. However, we will save the DVDs we have from the past meetings. We are going to essentially renovate the archives. After 21 years, we've got a lot of stuff in there. So I'm going to curate, I'm going to go through the collection and curate what I believe was significant in terms of community productions. And I've been in touch with Anka Voss, who runs the Champaign County Historical Archives, and they've expressed interest in taking some of that material. So that's my summer project, is to go through the archives. We can get rid of a lot of old things. Jason will also be talking to you more in a minute about where our archiving is going from here, which is a very interesting development. Along with this, I'm sort of making it a personal crusade to start recycling old DVDs and CDs. The only place in town that did it is apparently no longer doing it. I have located a business in Indiana that takes them. You have to pay shipping, but otherwise there's no charge. So I'm going to try to find money in the budget to ship discs both from us and from the IT department in general. And I think the green people at the city will appreciate that. So. I'm going to turn it over to our disembodied voice, Jason Liggett, to talk more about the Internet Archives and our social media update and our clips reel.
Thank you. So for the Internet Archive, Jake and I were going back and forth along with IT to try to find a take less staff time to produce an archive rather than making data DVDs of every program that we run through. And we ended up discovering, we put it out to our listserv on the Alliance for Community Media, that it was already been done for us by John Hauser at Access Humboldt. He has been working on a project for the past few years to archive any shows, any public access shows uploaded to YouTube. So any show that we've uploaded to YouTube since 2012 is archived on archive.org. So you go to archive.org/details/Urbana Public TV, and you can see here, it takes normally about a week for him to update it, but we can go through and click on whatever year you want. You can search for a program there if there's a particular one. If I click on a program, such as Aware on the Air from a couple weeks ago, you can view the program here if you would like. Still available to view on YouTube as well. But then one nice feature of this, it not only archives it for us, but we are able to download it if we want, and also the members are able to download a copy of their video. So that's a nice feature for them. It's available in SD or HD as long as we upload it in HD. And then it's also available in a couple other formats, including MP3. Some of our shows, our producers also put it out to community access radio stations. So that's a nice feature for them. Rather than converting files and taking more staff time, it's already all done for us. And as we continue to upload things to YouTube, it'll continue to show up on archive.org. Any questions on the archiving at all about the archive.org?
I have a few questions on other aspects of the archiving, but not specifically this. Do you want me to hold them till the end?
Yeah, maybe hold them till the end of the staff report, if that's fine. Okay, I'll go ahead and move on to the social media aspect here. So our top draw on our Facebook page was a feature story that we did on the Friendship Grove Nature Playscape with the Urbana Park District, and you can see that it reached 2,357 people, and you can see all the likes and all the other things, a lot of comments and stuff and retweets. So good promotion there. And then our second most popular Facebook post was an interview that we uploaded, another video. The videos tend to do good when you upload them straight to YouTube, or straight to Facebook, rather. And this was one that there is Joey Wright, which Jake mentioned earlier. He interviewed the Urbana High School baseball coach ahead of their season at the field, and that was popular as well. 867 people reached. Moving on to Twitter, our top tweet this past quarter was an interview that Natalie Kenny Marquez and Sterling Bowman from the city's marketing department did with Bill Gray, the director of Public Works, about the MCOR project and the road improvements that are happening on Green Street this time of year. And then our second most popular tweet was the opening game for Urbana High School baseball against Oakwood. And that was just a mention of the game and that it's available on YouTube. But you can see that that had 937 impressions and 17 link clicks straight from that. Our most popular on YouTube, again, Urbana High School sports, Urbana versus Oakwood baseball. And that had 200 views. And then our second most popular or most watched video on YouTube for this past quarter was the Urbana versus Hoopston softball game. And I think that was the opening softball game as well, if my memory... Yeah, it was. It was the opening softball game as well. That had 169 views. A couple of honorable mentions here. At 168 views was the Urbana Middle School 8th grade promotion ceremony. And at 167 views was the feature story on Rhonda Foster of the Urbana Fire Department. So they were right there. I waited until this morning to see if the other two would get any more views and surpass it. But second place goes to the Urbana versus Hoopston softball game there. All right, now I think I'll go ahead and play the clips reel here for you.
It's funny, so I wasn't kind of your typical girl. I laugh and joke with people and I say my Barbies rode on fire trucks in the kindergarten class that I was in. And I had family in the fire service, and so on Sundays we'd go and we'd have dinner, we'd eat meals, we'd wash the rigs with them, and it was just a fantastic sense of tradition and pride, and I listened to their stories. And I'd say by middle school I knew this is what I wanted to do.
What are your future plans?
Well, I got to clean my house. First, I got to clean my office. That was the real reason I ran, so I wouldn't have to clean my office. But I am faced with that task, and I'm busy getting it done, so when Diane Marlin comes in, she'll have it sparkling clean.
And they're getting a variety of different ways of expressing themselves. So some school districts don't even have any fine arts, let alone a community that is welcoming to it or even displaying their work or want to actively talk about it. So that for students to have an actual outlet and multiple ways of expressing themselves, I think is unique, and I think it's important for them to not only be able to express themselves, but to absorb how other people express themselves.
You know, there was an abandoned building here in this space. It was falling apart and needed to get rebuilt, and rather than kind of build it up from the ground up, decided to kind of take it down. And some of the other owners, Matt Cho in particular, had, I don't know, traveled a lot of places. I think as a designer, kind of architecture background, one of the things that he's seen is a lot of shipping container kind of uses of shipping containers and how to creatively activate a space using shipping containers. So that was some of the early motivation for how to kind of reactivate the space.
On behalf of the staff, I would like to thank the parents, family, and friends who support these students every day. Without your support and encouragement, these students would not be here today. I hope that you too appreciate the achievement, success, and accomplishment of each student with us today. And thank you for making every day a great day in Tiger Country.
Urbana is special. There is a real sense of community in this town, and it has to do a lot with the people that live here, and it has to do with organizations like the Park District.
The Urbana Park District enriches the lives of all its residents. Without our many volunteers, our community would look very different. From special events, neighborhood nights, to Urbana's parks, pools, and various programs, the staff of the Urbana Park District is grateful for all the time our generous volunteers donate.
A light rain and gray sky didn't keep the crowds away as city officials and community members gathered to celebrate Arbor Day 2017. This year's celebration took place at the site of the Urbana Park District's new Friendship Grove Nature Playscape. As in the past, local youth helped plant and mulch the trees and learned about the importance of trees to our environment.
Rolling through the city looking for the antidote. Got a dope man, I hope he your fan. I really do. I need a dosage, I'm on it, go, go, go. I need a healer, a soul keeper, a leader. Release the dreamers, make them all believers. Go deeper, third eye magician. Lower every sentence, this life can be a prison if you lacking on your vision. With your intention, ain't no difference getting lit. To the fusion, Dr. Sin, please don't be that ignorant.
Popped up. Almost hit me. I was able to get out of the way. That's what. I don't even know what to say.
You should have caught it.
I should have caught it, yeah, I know. That's what,
We just watched it.
I've never had that happen before. I've done this a while, and I've never actually had to get out of the way. I think I did an all right job. Yeah, I didn't hit me. Grounded to Sanders, and the throw to first is in time. So Bowers, after making me work a little, out on the 6-3.
Come one, come all, to one of Champaign County's longest running traditions, the 68th annual Champaign County Freedom Celebration. Help us salute education and 150 years as a leading institution with Dr. Peter Schiffer, Vice Chancellor of Research at the University of Illinois, serving as Parade Grand Marshal.
In these 4 years, we have been living in a divided country, giving us no choice but to come together and push forth as a unit. And as we go on past these 4 years, we will remember that our LGBTQ lives matter. We will remember that our Muslims' lives matter, our refugees' lives matter, our Latinx lives matter, and that our Black lives matter.
When she gets in my car, she changes the station to a hip-hop station.
105.5.
So I've listened to things that I would not have listened to otherwise.
The first day of 5th grade, after about a half a year, I met her in January of 4th grade. I had super long hair, and I chopped my hair off to even shorter than it is now, and I got brand new glasses. And I walked in the first day of 5th grade, and I was like, Caitlin, let's go mentor. And she was like, I don't know you. And she just stayed in the lunchroom, and they told me, you know, they said, hey, if they don't want to go with you any day, don't force it, just say okay and goodbye, and we got it all worked out. But it was just one of those really early things was like, I shouldn't have cut my hair, you know?
I think that I've been impressed with Hunter is always a positive, steady person, and I'm kind of an emotional roller coaster, so he's good. He's a good, I think after about 3 years, he started mentoring me.
Be happy to answer any questions that anyone has.
Yeah, I have a few. So the Busey, you mentioned some programs that you're airing from Busey and from the EDC, the Innovation Celebration stuff.
Mhm.
I don't think I saw that on YouTube. Is that right? It's not on YouTube, or is it there?
It may be on YouTube, but it's not on our
It's
channel.
not on your channel.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a way to be kept up to date of the things that you're bringing in that don't? So, a little background. I found finally that I could start watching UPTV without a cable connection on a regular basis using the YouTube channel, and I found a way to bring that into my news reader, my RSS reader, and I'd be happy to share that with anybody else who's interested. They can email the commission or the station, and I can forward that information on how I did that. And it's great. I finally, I don't even have to, it's like everything's DVR'd because it's all on YouTube. So I watch it when I'm available or when I want to, and I get the full variety of shows. It's really interesting. I've watched more UPTV in the last couple months than all of the other years that I've, like 30 years I've lived in Champaign-Urbana combined. So it's really, it works for me. What it doesn't get me is it doesn't get me the city meetings, and it doesn't get me other things that you bring onto the station. I would expect it to not get me things like Democracy Now!, the regular programs that you bring in from other sources. But I'm a little surprised to learn that it doesn't get that you don't have the other content that is more or less local content, but not produced by you. That's not in there. It's not surprising. It's just it means I'll have to figure out how to do that. Is there a way that that the audience can monitor what you're bringing onto the program, onto the channel, outside of locally produced stuff and city meetings?
Watch the UPTV commission. I don't have an answer to that. I don't know. Jason, do you have any ideas?
Well, one thing they can certainly check out, they at least know that what's available and what's not available just by going to our website and looking at the schedule. And it tells you, you know what's available. It doesn't necessarily tell you specifically, hey, this isn't on YouTube, this is on YouTube. And the other way, we do also offer a live stream. So even if you're not a cable subscriber, you can watch our live stream 24/7 on the website as well. But I don't think that's exactly what you're wanting and what you're aiming for. But that's the answer that I have for you.
Yeah, I would say in some ways they're kind of like blue light specials. You have to be watching the station live to catch some of these things.
I guess I'm looking for a push versus a pull kind of experience. So I finally found a way to do that with the YouTube channel, and I guess I think with the website, I think there are a variety of RSS feeds that you can subscribe to on the website to be notified of new meetings. I'm not sure if I can just see new videos of meetings, but I don't know. I'll continue to.
Okay. I'll certainly continue to think about that question as well.
Yeah. So regarding the budget, is there any expected impact to UPTV of the new budget?
Well, this fiscal year, not at the moment. The there may be further cuts during the fiscal year, as I understand it, depending upon how things develop. But at the moment, no. I would say the impact on UPTV is primarily that of, our beginning fundraising efforts and underwriting program and things like that.
Okay.
Sanford may have more to say about this.
This is more of an accounting note, but the city has cleaned up the purchase of equipment of $5,000 or less versus more than $5,000. So now and in future years, starting on July 1, we have a budget line item in our operating money for purchases of equipment that is less than $5,000 per purchase. Whereas previously that was all kind of commingled in one line with also the big ticket items. So if you were comparing budgets year over year, that would be a new line, and would, and the amount, Jason's done an excellent job projecting out the equipment replacements for the next 7-8 years. So we sort of know the amount year by year that we expect to spend based on the expected life cycle of equipment, with the note that there's always the possibility that something breaks and we have to replace it mid-year.
And lastly, regarding the archiving, so it sounds like anything that gets uploaded to YouTube is now more or less safe in perpetuity.
So long as the Internet Archive exists, yeah.
Right. You talked about curating historical stuff. So is there any content that is currently in a digital form, online, accessible online, that you're proposing to remove?
No.
Okay. The things that you are considering curating, do I understand that correctly, that you're considering culling, not throwing away, but possibly sending somewhere else? It sounds like at least the originals of some items. Is that what that process is supposed to be, or is it, is it the opposite?
I suppose that's it. We have an entire wall there of DVDs and gathering dust, and I would like to make them available to future researchers, for instance, historians. So I will be looking with an eye towards programs that have something to do with the day-to-day life of Urbana and the particular era that these programs come from. I've been here almost 7 years now, so I'm familiar with many of them, but the ones that predate me, it's going to be kind of fun, I think, for me to go back and look at these old programs. So I wouldn't say I'm a hoarder, but I am an archivist and a collector, so I'm going to be very careful about any decisions to get rid of things. And probably what Anka and the Champaign County Historical Archives would be interested in will also determine, in some degree, to what is saved over there. I don't want to. I know they have. They're saving most of their things in the cloud, and they have 5 terabytes, I guess, of material already. So I need to come up with an estimate of what our content that we'd make available to them, how large it is. So
there's another thing to keep in mind is that archive.org will also, any of that stuff that copyright-wise you can upload there, they'll store it there forever for free, regardless of size. So just one more time, so imagining that you are looking on your wall and you find a program that you consider interesting, is your thought that you then take those DVDs and you give them to the Historical Society, or are those ones that you then digitize? Can you walk me through what you're talking about?
I would offer to the Historical Society those programs that I think should be saved.
Okay.
And the ones they take, we will give them. The ones they don't take, if I still think they should be saved, I would digitize. But the whole idea is to save space and to save time. So I'm at that point I might be a little more ruthless than I would be. You know, I may offer them more than I would save if I had to do it all myself.
Okay.
So.
Okay, I understand. That was it. Any other questions or comments? Okay, moving on to audience participation. We do have an audience member. Would she like to address the commission?
I'm just working from, my name is Carol McCusick, from a conversation over the phone with Jake about expressing that I like at 1 p.m. France 24 Live, and then I got little background. I don't know if I took it in right or remember it right, but about how he fills up the schedule. But one of the things that France 24 Live is on Monday at 1 a.m., Tuesday at 1 a.m., and Wednesday at 1 a.m., in my experience. And so since it's a news show, it would be nice if it was there every day, I feel. I think at that slot, for that slot, it was programs that were there before France 24 Live became available. So they were, at the end, would you please correct everything I'm saying wrong? But I think that Jake said that maybe, is it Grace and Truth Ministries one night and like a horror movie or something another night? But I thought I would say it in the meeting because maybe those ones that were, I don't know if grandfathered is the right word, but that preceded, they antedated France 24 Live becoming available. Maybe no one cares about them, or maybe that. So I thought, in other words, to generate comment to Jake on the topic.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Carol's absolutely right. The France 24 Live is a great program. It's live world news from France, and I would like to get it on, and I am kind of waiting to have the schedule shift because the schedule always shifts. One of our out-of-state members runs at 1 a.m. on Friday. One of the longest running programs is on Thursday night. The other problem with France 24, you may have noticed it's not on this week because it's part of the Free Speech TV feed, and when they go to their fund drive, we have to drop them for 3 weeks, and that happens 4 times a year, and it's awkward to promote a regular news program and then have it disappear for 3 weeks every quarter, and so I've been a little reluctant to make that a staple of the schedule. But I really appreciate Carol letting me know she sees it because I really think it's one of our good program offerings. So if I could run something like that at 6 in the evening, I'd love it. So thanks, Carol.
I don't notice how the Democracy Now! Airing hooks into the Free Speech TV appeal. They don't have a pitch, do they, before or after?
We have an agreement with the Free Speech Network that even during their fund drives, they provide one live feed of Democracy Now! A day that has no fundraising in it. And it's specifically so stations, PEG stations like ours, can continue to run that during the fund drive. That's why everything else disappears except Democracy Now!
I guess I'll say I did not understand that. I would think like after you have democracy now, let's say, okay, Wednesday, let's say Tuesday at 5, Tuesday at 7, Tuesday at 5, and the same program would come on at Wednesday at 1 a.m.
I just run that in place of the France 24 during the fund drives, a rebroadcast.
But it seems odd to me that they, what is it, how does it help their drive? If they don't say at the time you see it that this is...
They fundraise immediately after the live broadcast during the morning. We cut away then.
But not at 2 a.m.
Yeah, that's just a rebroadcast of the 7 a.m. program.
Thanks for your time.
Uh-huh.
And moving on to unfinished business policies and procedures.
I'm glad Dale made it for this. The final revision of the policies and procedures is done. It is posted on the city website. I will be over the weekend sending information to all of our current and longstanding members about that and about the new procedure which we need to follow, which is to have a paper copy of a written signature agreeing to the policies and procedures. This is what our legal division wants to see. So I'm giving people until the 1st of July to comply with that. I'm mailing it to our out-of-state members. We'll see what happens, but I don't anticipate there being any problems. The revision, you're welcome to look at it. It's on the website now. Primarily changes of wording, primarily elimination of procedures that no longer take place, largely because of technological developments that have happened. No more VHS. There are a couple of instances that I will point out in my email to members that I want them to be particularly aware of, and those include copyright clearance and prohibited material and things like that. But it is substantially the same document, just a little more concise.
Will you be sending us a copy of what you send out, like the email? That
Sure.
You just,
yeah,
that would
I'll
be
include
helpful.
you. Of course. Of course.
So no commission action needed on that. Great.
And that's the last time you'll see it on the agenda.
Woo. Well, for a decade.
It has been?
So 50% of the years. No. New business, underwriting.
Yes, as we touched on at the last commission meeting, we are putting an underwriting program into place. We've identified a short, succinct list of potential underwriters. I've been in touch with them so far. I plan to do some personal visits to each of those places in the week or two to come. I must thank Sanford because he's helped us format a list of contacts that works really well for us, and in particular Natalie Kenny Marquez, who did the layout on the brochure, the prospectus. I've got it's kind of like sending your manuscript out. I've gotten a couple of rejection letters so far, and it always kind of hurts. It's like, why wouldn't you support us? But there is one thing that I would like to say, and this is something that I was aware of, but it was particularly made very clear at the fundraising webinar that I participated in which I participated, Andrew. And that is that almost all fundraising activities by community media outlets rely on activities by their boards of directors to be essentially the lead fundraisers, to not only become supporters themselves, but to participate actively in fundraising efforts. Along those lines, I'm going to give you all a little homework because you are the closest thing we have to a board of directors. So I've included in your packet, each of you has one copy of our prospectus. We only had a very few printed, so these are rather precious. I would like to ask each of the commissioners to deliver this to one business that you think might be a prospective underwriter. And the only proviso would be that you let me know in advance, because if I've already been in contact with them, I wouldn't want to have them barraged by requests. But if you can do that in the next couple of weeks, that would be great. I'd be happy to discuss with each of you individually if you have an idea who you will give your copy to. I can see if they're already on the list for us, and if they aren't, I'll add them to the list. But you know, if there are businesses that you regularly do business with in Urbana or in Champaign-Urbana, or other, if you happen to know philanthropists. This is sort of a personal favor I'm asking. I know that you're all volunteer commissioners and you have limits on your time, but we would really find this helpful if we can help get the word out. And as our best ambassadors, I'm looking to the commission to give us some help with this.
Jake, for the benefit of the commissioners and for the viewing audience at home, can you take 1 minute to sort of discuss the 4 opportunities that we have at this time for underwriting?
Yeah. We have the brochure lists 3 specific programs that we are offering underwriting opportunities for. They include Urbana High School sports broadcasts. We are the exclusive television home of Urbana High School sports. We broadcast one game or match a week during 3 different seasons of sports activity there. We include the students in the broadcast and the production of these programs, so it is not only a chance for Urbana students and teens and their parents and friends and relatives to watch them, but it is also a training opportunity for the media students at Urbana High School. That's one thing we make available for underwriting. We're going to make available. Also, sorry?
If I could interject, it's also ridiculously good TV. So for whoever, it is extremely exciting that the student announcers that they have on these programs just do an amazing job. So your sponsorship will be surrounded by some really fun content.
Excellent. I totally agree. Thank you. Would you like to work sales for us?
I thought you just said I already was, whether I like it or not.
The second is our exclusive broadcast of the Champaign County Freedom Celebration, otherwise known as the 4th of July Parade and festivities. Commissioner Marie Polk has been involved with that for years, and we have taken over the lead from, I believe Comcast used to broadcast that. It's definitely one of our most watched programs, and again, this is available for underwriting, for sponsorship, and it's very reasonable, and you will be on all of the on-demand views as well as the live views and our press releases. And then we offer underwriting on our weather broadcasts through the Total Information Package. These would be 3 a day, every day. And that would be a good thing. All of these underwriting costs are based on our estimate of what the costs are for that production. So these aren't just made up numbers. They're the ones that will, it's the money that will help pay for these programs. And then probably later in the fiscal year, we're going to be rolling out some more general underwriting opportunities throughout the broadcast day. We haven't finalized those opportunities yet. So,
Jake, I assume if someone wants to make a contribution of some kind with no strings attached, they can go ahead and do that? Is that through the
Absolutely.
underwriting program?
Absolutely. We have a donate button on the Urbana Public Television website, urbanapublictelevision.org, and you can go to that page, and it takes you directly to the Community Foundation Fund set up for UPTV. If your donation is of a commercial enterprise that would like some recognition on air, we would call that underwriting, and then people would be welcome to contact me at Urbana Public Television. That's UPTV at urbanaillinois.us, or they can call us at 384-2452.
Jake, just to clarify, if individuals go to the website and donate, that is a tax-deductible donation?
That is a tax-deductible donation.
But commercial entities that receive on-air thanks.
Right, that would be a sponsorship or a partnership to help us with production costs. And Jason and I will be at the ACM conference, and we hope to bring more ideas and more energy back from Minnesota for this.
When is the ACM conference again?
July.
July.
Mid-July. All-Star break, so I won't get to watch the Twins play.
Any other comments on the underwriting development? Okay, and next item of new business is equipment purchases.
So you have the list of equipment purchases for the last quarter in front of you. The one major purchase were the 3 new studio cameras. They're HD, so just a couple months ago we were still producing all our studio shows in standard definition, and now they're all in high definition. So it's high definition on YouTube, so you can watch them in HD on YouTube. Of course, we're still broadcasting on Comcast, i3 Broadband, and AT&T Uverse in standard definition. But the 3 new cameras there for $2,400, and then the other 3 items on that list are just supporting pieces of the said cameras.
Any commissioner comments on that? Great, moving on. General commissioners' comments. I will just say that it's very exciting to now finally be able to watch, well, finally be in the habit of watching a significant amount of UPTV content. It is really cool. I saw the Naturescape thing. I saw the 2 things where the gentleman interviewed Mayor Pressing and Don Owen. Those are the things that came to mind that I really enjoyed watching, but it's really neat to be able to watch that. And again, I end up getting it through YouTube because it works best for me.
I should add that the free speech drive, when programs suddenly disappear from our air for 3 weeks, it's always interesting because I always get 2 or 3 calls from people that go, "That was my favorite program." And, you know, we've never heard from them before, so it's a good way to find out what people like, what people are actually watching on the station. Because we have a very hard time tracking that otherwise.
Cool. No other commissioner comments? I'll say that our next regularly scheduled meeting is September 8th at noon in the Urbana City Council chambers, and the audience is welcome to come by and participate. Do I have a motion to adjourn? So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? This meeting is adjourned.